Should I introduce it?
Go on. I think that's fitting.
Right. Right.
We are all gathered here today.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good. We'll start with that. We're all gathered here today for a very solemn episode of Club Sandwich with me,
Ridiculous.
Jordan Sanger.
And me, Henry Southern. It's not going to be that morbid, don't worry.
Before we get started, please hit
Oh,
follow.
God. I didn't know you could get any more sort of, like, depressing.
We're wearing black for a reason, darling.
Yes.
It is the death episode, the 13th episode, the unlucky one.
Make sure you hit follow wherever you're listening. That'll mean you'll be the first to know about each and every new episode.
But is there any point?
Jordan.
You can also find us on Instagram and on TikTok.
Tic-tac. God, I nearly bought you a
TikTok.
mug the other day that said grandma on it.
Well, we can get into my grandma antics because I've been extra grandma recently.
Yes.
YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Just search Club Sandwich Podcast.
Brilliant. Yes. Did you mention it's the 13th episode?
Yes,
Oh, wow,
13th.
yeah.
Unlucky.
God, I had no idea.
I know. So this could either go one of two ways.
God. Well, we know which way it's going. Right. The headlines. We engrave our tombstones.
We're feeling Giovanni, and we're still in recovery.
And we revive a lot of the people that we've killed off on this podcast.
Yes, and on that, I want to say, as an opening remark, apologies if we've killed you off on this podcast. We did not intend to do so.
No. That man at Oslo Court still going strong with
Yes.
his trolley.
He's stronger than I am.
You tried
Who else
to...
have we killed off?
Well, you basically killed off Dame Maggie before she'd went, didn't you?
Right, if you have not seen this image... People, it's after, no, because I love Dame Maggie Smith. Henry had to announce that very gently to me.
I did.
But then that picture appeared in the press it was allegedly her final ever picture when she was at a
Of her
restaurant.
at a restaurant.
Yes, where was the restaurant? I can't remember where it was.
It was in St. John's Wood, I think.
Yeah, around that area.
And you'd got very emotional over this image of her, like having her final meal
Yes.
outside. Turns out it wasn't bloody her, was
If
it?
they can find the image, it might come up on screen. But no, it wasn't her. And honestly, when Henry and I discovered it wasn't her,
we just
stop.
hysterically laughing. weren't we?
Because I showed you the image
Yeah.
before that saying, oh, look, it's her last image. It wasn't even her. That woman might still be alive. We're not
I
kidding. her.
fear that you mourned the loss of Dame Maggie more than you'd
Lost some of my family. Yes. Awkward, I know. See, it's morbid. I told you it was morbid. You got warned. But yeah,
you got to
that
find
was,
light. You got to find light in the darkness, haven't you?
Yeah,
you got to.
that's a motivational quote from
Yeah.
today. But yeah, so sorry if we've killed you off on the podcast.
Yes.
Are we going to stop going forwards? Probably not.
No, we do it unintentionally.
But we've
It's
revived
manslaughter.
those. No, it's not. With my legal cap on, it's not.
Okay.
But we've revived those who we've killed off so far. So
Yes.
the theme question of the week: how would you like to be buried? Do you want to be cremated or otherwise?
You know, can I just say, the whole idea for this episode came up, and it was one of those conversations. And I think funny enough, I was the one who asked this question.
Yes, you did.
We were watching, I think, it was after Bridget Jones, I think.
Yeah.
And it was showing, like,
Wonderful
the funeral,
film.
the new Bridget Jones, which is a film about grief. I can't
Yeah.
believe the new Bridget Jones film is so...
It's
such a
fucking
good
fantastic.
film. And for, like, a Bridget Jones film.
And we've communicated that to loads of people who say, oh, I'm not a Bridget Jones person.
No, but it's...
Well,
it's
this
really-
is so much better than all the other ones put
I
together.
was bawling my eyes out.
Yes, it was more emotional than what's an emotional film? Got to be careful here. What is an emotional film?
I went somewhere
Yeah.
I shouldn't go.
Yeah, well, what would you say is an emotional film?
Finding Nemo.
Oh God, not that again. Come on, you could do better than that. What's a sad Disney film?
La La Land's sad.
Yeah, it was a lot sadder than La La Land.
Yeah, and then we watched that film, and I think I just asked you very candidly, how would you get
Yeah.
buried? And you were like, Henry, that's such a weird question to ask. I'm not going to answer that. We're going to answer that on the podcast in a death-themed episode. And here we are.
What's your answer to that?
I've got no idea, but whenever we walk through Brompton Cemetery,
Yeah.
I want to be in one of those really fab, like, big tombs.
Yeah.
Like one of those things.
Like a
brick
mausoleum
things. Yes.
thing. Yeah.
They look great.
The family's mausoleum.
Yes.
Yeah. But they'll probably knock it down and build flats on it.
What do you mean? No, they won't.
Yeah, we've got housing struggle, darling.
What would you have engraved on your tombstone if you had?
What would I have? Probably, finally fucking happy. Fuck you all.
You'd have that on your
What
tombstone.
would you have engraved?
I don't know. You could do something a bit fun. Like, I remember, I don't know if it was AI, but I did see one online that just was like, told you I was not feeling very well. Which I thought was quite
You
funny.
should have listened to me. I would maybe even a quote from a sitcom or something.
Oh, that could be good.
Like maybe like from Vicar of Dibley, an Alice Tinker quote.
Yes.
Or I can't think of any specific. Or just maybe champagne, question mark.
Okay. You could go very Gen Z and put like a QR code on there, couldn't you?
You could put an emoji on there. You could put the skull emoji.
Eggplant emoji.
Henry, please. So how are you going then?
Huh?
So if you pop
How
your
am I
clogs
going?
right now, what am I to do?
What do you mean?
Looking after your estate and everything.
Well, I want a mausoleum.
Oh right, so that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So not cremation.
What are you having done?
Probably cremation.
Oh my God, this is so crazy.
So you can get a nice little vase from IKEA and put me in it.
This is so morbid.
No, but these are pragmatic questions, darling.
They are. Yeah,
We've got
preparing for the worst.
Yes. So Henry wants to be buried in a mausoleum. I want to be cremated. Don't go to IKEA. Go somewhere. Where can you get a nice vase from? I want, mid-range.
Do you want something antique?
No, because that might be haunted.
Okay.
And I want everything in that vase to be about me. Not
Okay.
of the
Oh, bloody
spirits of
hell.
yesterday.
A spirit with an ego.
Well, I don't have one in life,
That's
so
fun.
maybe in
So
death
you
I will
wouldn't
have
want
an
to be
ego.
scattered.
No.
No.
God, no. There's that trope in TV shows, isn't there, where someone's got the vase and they spill it. And
Oh
it's
yes,
like,
old grannies all over the floor.
Yes, and then they're putting like brown sugar into it instead. But no, just cremate me.
Okay.
And where can we get this vase from?
And where do you want the vase put? Do you want it just to stay? Do you want it to stay with me for a while? Or?
I don't know. There's not much room in our
I'm worried
flat.
you'll haunt me forever.
I know that's the intent, darling. No, put it in the mausoleum next to you.
Ah, that's very sweet.
So you'll have your skeleton there.
Yeah.
And then I'll just have a nice little designer vase.
Should we move on?
Yes.
Jordan, what's
More about death.
What's cheesed you off about death?
What cheeses me off about death? Should I go first?
Yes.
I think for me, it's the uncertainty of death. Because some... No, listen to me here, darling.
Yes.
Because sometimes, when you are away or whatever, sometimes I just sit there and I'm very pensive, thinking, what happens after I go?
Right.
Like, does my mind keep going? Because I've been
These
having
are big questions. A lot of people have these questions a lot later in life.
But I've got a lot of time on my hands, evidently. But because I have quite lucid dreams.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I wake up.
Like last night when you thought there was a pink dragonfly in our bedroom for some reason. I didn't know what was going on there.
No, that was not a dream.
In the middle of the night last night, Jordan woke up and had this like torch on going, like searching around for a dragonfly.
But sometimes in my dreams, I have conversations with people and then think I've actually had those conversations.
Yeah.
So
I've had that before.
Yeah. And it's just, is death going to be like that? So we go into a different plane, realm, not necessarily, religious, but just a different, our mind keeps going. Because there is that whole philosophical discourse.
Oh, gosh.
Yes, about whether the mind is ontologically distinct from the brain.
Ontologically? Bloody
Yes.
hell, someone's been reading the dictionary.
Well, I think that was that Descartes' substance dualism? I don't know. But anyway, it's like the brain is the physical thing, and then the mind is something else, something beyond the planes of physicality.
I have no idea what you've been saying for the last 60 seconds.
It's this bloody CBD drink they've got me on. But no, the uncertainty of death does scare me.
You just don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah. No, the uncertainty of what happens in death.
Oh.
Yeah. So when you die,
There is a big question, a hypothetical question that a lot of people ask themselves. If you were able to find out the exact point at which you're going to die, would you accept that? Would you want to know?
I think if I knew, I'd speed it up. Not in like
Jesus,
because I'd want to be in control of my own demise. If
there
you
are any
knew.
therapists out there.
Oh
Please
God, no!
do get in touch.
Don't write in. Please don't.
Club
I'll
sandwich
ignore you if
at
you're in my
insanity.
iMessage. iMessage, Instagram. God, it's gone to shit. I was making a very good point there. But like, what do you think happens when you die?
Well, no one knows. So
Exactly, and
I
that
don't
cheeses me
even
off.
I don't even go there. Like
Do you think there's a light?
It's too look anything. I mean, it's anything's a bonus, isn't it? If it's
Oh, that's a lovely way of putting it. Actually,
Yes.
Everything's a bonus.
yes,
And that's why I'm married.
darling.
You,
Maybe
darling.
you need to enjoy the living. You're like bloody the corpse bride.
Tim Burton, if you're watching, I'm available. What?
I can see you in a Tim Burton film.
Thank you. I wouldn't even need the makeup, would I? Well, Henry, what cheeses you off about death?
Right. It's the sadness of a funeral buffet.
Go on.
Like, I mean, someone's just died.
Yeah.
Like, are we respecting them over a sad tuna sandwich and some quiche? No. That's it should be a celebration of their life.
But I think a funeral, everything's a bonus, isn't it? You're getting the buffet for free.
No, but you want like I would want a very lavish buffet at my funeral.
What would your funeral
It'd be a
look like?
banquet.
Yeah.
I would want people to have a great time. Martinis all around.
Yes. Oh,
Champagne. Big. I'm picturing this kind of Henry VIII-esque sort of
Yes,
long
that's
table
yes.
with everything on. And yeah, it should be a party. It should be a celebration.
What would your funeral song be?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm thinking Pharrell Williams, Happy.
Why?
It's ironic.
Yes. Well,
Ironic even in
You
death.
had all of your living life like listening to some pretty depressing stuff.
Yes.
And then what? And now you're going to play happy at the funeral.
Yes, exactly. I've been saving it.
No Love Island bombshell music as you listen to it in the shower.
As the coffin enters the door. Dun, 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 dun.
The hot new bombshell is entered.
The
The
afterlife.
crematorium. God, that is so morbid. What? Jesus.
I might meet a lovely Victorian
Are you gonna
chap
get
up
Ian
there.
Sterling to like do the voiceover?
I don't think the budget was stretched, darling.
God.
But anyway, back to funeral buffets.
Yeah, I mean,
I like a
I
beige
just think
buffet, though.
I think a funeral should be a celebration of someone's life.
Yeah.
And shouldn't.
What if they liked tuna sandwiches?
Well, fair enough. I don't.
They're not catering to you. That's not a dietary requirement, Henry, that you
No,
can't have a...
but I'd say most not. I mean, some of the food that I've seen at some buffets is pretty like
Right, I've got one question on this.
what?
So out of the supermarkets, which one would you like to do the catering?
I want M&S to do. No, M&S or Fortnum and Mason can do the catering.
Okay.
If you're available now, we can. I can't book in a date yet, unfortunately. But
No.
who do you want to do your?
I don't know, maybe Morrison's.
I'll get carriages to do the wake.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
Sounds good.
It's gonna be a party of the century.
Yeah. I think you need a bit of a party, don't you?
What do you think about? I mean, we're obviously wearing all black today. Would you like enforce that on people? I mean, you don't have much of a say, but do you? But
No. Well, I do. It's now.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is on record forever.
yes, I know.
So be extra garish.
Yes, Alfie Moon shirt.
Yes, Alfie Moon shirts. Make a fucking effort. That's an imperative. But no, I'm going to say,
Yeah,
I'll give you the cheesed off
and like
for this week.
people are allowed to. I think at my funeral, people are allowed to be a bit sad, but like because you don't want them to be like. I want them to miss me a little bit, but also like get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you even say when you? I hate when you were in a queue So you know when you go to a funeral and you're queuing up in front of the nearest relatives, what do you say? I'm sure there's... What's that? I can't remember the sitcom, but someone gets to the front of the queue. It's like that awkward
the queue
thing.
Of what?
Oh, we'll scrap that bit.
What you?
When you
know
have
where
to
that
go
was
to
going.
the next of kin, what do you say to the next of kin? I'm sorry,
Oh, yes. I'm sorry for your loss.
but I didn't do anything.
No, it just means you have sympathy for them.
Okay, I'll go up to them. I have sympathy for
Yeah,
you.
or like deepest sympathies.
Deepest condolences.
Yes. I didn't do anything.
I just,
I'm not saying sorry to you.
We should
I didn't kill him.
Or her, or them.
Or her, yeah.
We asked ChatGPT.
Ask them what?
What do you say?
Shall I actually do
is
that
never
right
gonna
now?
die.
I might do that right now.
Yes.
Let's see what they say.
So how do you phrase that?
Here we go.
We're like an advice column.
I'm so sorry for your loss. Brackets name. Was such a wonderful person, and they'll be deeply. What if they weren't a wonderful person? And they'll be deeply missed. If you ever need anything, I'm here for you.
No, don't tell them that.
That's if she's quite. That's if they're very close to the deceased. If you want to keep it simple but sincere, it says, "I'm so sorry, you're in my thoughts."
Yeah.
A gentle touch on the hand or arm can also be reassuring.
No, don't do any of that.
Okay.
That's bullshit advice. There we go. We've again proved that ChatGPT is...
What's getting the chop then?
No, I've said already that
Buffets.
Yeah, buffets.
Yeah.
Because
You know
we're not
buffets
going to know
is
about
shit.
the uncertainty. At least with buffets, we can solve the problem. Just go to Fortnum's.
Exactly.
But that sounds so arrogant. Anyway, next. Now we're moving on to the magazine element of the show. This is...
What do you do? Now we're moving on the magazine.
Come on, this is
like
the,
Loose
this
Women.
morning audition.
What was it that person said? Is it
What?
the only thing missing from Loose Women is a cauldron between?
That's a royal family joke.
Oh, yeah.
Be nice, Henry. You always have it on.
Yeah, I like
You
a bit-
always have ITV daytime.
I like a bit of daytime telly.
Yeah, but then I put "Don't Tell the Bride" on. one of the channels very far down the list. Right. So now we're moving on to the magazine element of the section of the show. This is slices of our life. Chomp chomp. Right.
Chomp chomp.
First, Henry and I. This is a late edition. So we were talking yesterday about when you've got come into the limelight somewhat.
Oh God, yes. I know where
And-
this is going.
Yeah. So
There's been a
Yeah.
couple of awkward instances ever since we kind of went on Big Brother and
Yes.
sort of became a bit more recognizable and like have this community.
Yeah.
You get the point where you go to
Yeah.
certain events and you see people that you know
Yeah.
and you have known for quite some time, but you don't know whether to acknowledge that you have liked every one of their Instagram posts since whenever or not. Do you know what I mean? It's like a
or
really
if you
awkward
have DM'd
situation.
them
Yes.
when you were
And
younger.
this became very apparent with.
But you've got an incident
We
of
won't
this
name
too.
him, shall we? No.
No, we won't name him.
There's an unnamed
Yeah.
singer who.
That doesn't narrow it down.
Yes, it fucking does. That literally narrows it down.
But anyway,
Jordan had
They'll
a
bleep that.
bit of a crush, didn't you, darling?
so did you.
Yes. But I think, how old would you have been at the time? Pretty young.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it must have been like over 10 years ago.
Yeah, young Jordan DMs this guy.
When was X banned?
Can I just say that it said the message to him was, you are beauty personified.
I was a bit of a romantic, okay.
And we met this guy.
Yes.
And he followed you, and then you had to acknowledge
Then the message
was
still present.
still there.
And it was too late to unsend.
Oh my God. So he saw
Anyway,
that.
you had an incident, didn't you? Where you met someone
Yes.
and you ran into the toilets.
Oh
quickly
yeah, I unfollowed them and
unliked
unliked
every
like, every
post.
single one of the posts. I think I got to the point where I was like, it's too late now. I've been talking to this guy for like 2 hours. There is like, I can't now go, oh, by the way, I know who you are. How was your holiday in Barbados in 2012?
Was
Like,
he
I
ever a
can't-
bombshell?
Huh? Shut up, Jordan.
But yes, it is that awkward kind of... And then
Yeah.
you feel like death, bringing it back to the theme, when that happens.
Very good, darling.
But anyway, right, the scandals of Cliveden.
Yeah.
We went to Cliveden House, didn't we?
Yes, we did go to Clifton.
Beautiful place, steeped in history.
Yes.
And it was probably one of the most whimsical experiences, in a wonderful way, I've ever had.
It was definitely haunted as well.
But
We were heard lots of tales of celebrity tales, didn't
yeah,
we?
I actually don't think we should be talking about this one. I've just
Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a
why not?
very fun day. It's a lovely day. But yeah, No gossip.
Meghan Markle's mother likes to go for a jog. That's all I'll say. On the morning of...
You'll have like the Secret Service contacting you now. How do you know that?
We're breaking news.
Right. Secondly,
Yes.
Countess Luann.
Oh my God.
Wasn't she fantastic? That was
Fabulous.
another fangirl for me. I was overwhelmed. And I'd already had a few martinis, but I still did not have that Dutch courage to go up to her.
I'm not a Real Housewives person, but even I,
Yes.
when she walked in the room, I was like, what a fabulous lady.
She radiated like royalty,
Yes.
didn't she?
Just to put this in context, we were at a party that Countess Luann was throwing.
Yes.
And like Tilda Swinton was there.
Yeah.
Boy George was there.
I've never put the three together, but
no,
apparently
neither.
they know each other.
And I saw this very drunk girl go up to Tilda Swinton and say,
Yes.
I loved you in Lord of the Rings. And I was like, babe, I don't think she was in Lord of the Rings. And then Tilda very politely kind of said, no, that wasn't me. I bet she woke up in the morning with a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Because she swore at me too. She stuck her middle finger up at me.
Did she?
Yes.
Who was this?
A
Why was
psychologist or something.
she... Oh, God.
And I think I was telling her I don't need a bloody psychologist.
It sounds like you do.
We're talking about
On
death
this
on the podcast.
episode.
Oh, but it was a wonderful event.
It was.
And at the end, because I didn't want to go and be one of those people who approaches and says, "Oh, could I have a picture?" Countess Luann grabbed my hand and she said to me, "I love your shirt, honey."
Oh, I've never heard you do an American accent like that.
That's why.
Gosh,
But yes. So Westwood, thank you. Westwood's deceased,
I know.
but she'd be proud.
She'd be proud.
That was a wonderful night, and we are still in recovery because it was.
It was rather heavy.
That was the same day as Clifton House, wasn't it?
Yeah, martinis were indeed flowing.
And if you haven't already, go and watch Henry's day in the life of that day.
Oh, cross-selling.
I know. Good, aren't I?
Well, Jordan, talking of Countess Luann, can money buy class?
It's not worked for me. Right.
You still have your scraps of the efficiency.
Yeah, and I still say duck.
Your
Duck.
Duck.
Funnily,
Oh,
apparently. Yes.
duckling.
Duck. How do you say duck? How do you say duck?
That's
Dick.
Go again.
Dick. Duck.
Duck. Oh, it's the sound that you still do in your northern
What?
voice.
Could you do it, please?
Duck.
Duck. I saw a duck.
You know, you took the mic out with that.
The death of the microphone.
Oh my God.
Right. We also went to the highest restaurant in London, didn't we? Do you want to share more?
We didn't
about
die
that?
up there.
No,
Even though
it was
that
terrifying. Though.
It's quite this new restaurant in it's 22 Bishopsgate. It's one of Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, Lucky Cat. You're looking down at the walkie-talkie building.
Yes.
Which everyone in there thinks they've got this sweeping view of London, and you're like miles above it. It's it was wild, wasn't it?
It was wild, yes, and it was just. I was actually suffering a bit from vertigo
Yes.
because we could see everything.
Have you ever had those dreams where you're like falling?
Oh, I have them all the time. Apparently, if you hit the floor, you're dead.
Oh.
No, but apparently that's the case. But then, how does anyone know that?
Yeah.
Because if they've hit the floor, they're dead. So who's sharing that?
Exactly. But you wake up and you almost jolt because you feel like you're about to fall.
I do that quite often. Jolt-
It's
Like Anakin Skywalker.
It's like
in
Jordan's
Star Wars.
when I'm sleep. I was about to say sleeping with Jordan's really interesting. It's like you're in some kind of simulation next to me, like falling, getting up, looking for dragonflies, sleep talking. Like,
I'm a light sleeper. I'm a light sleeper.
what the hell's going on?
But yeah, it was fun. We saw Gordon, didn't we? And
We did.
yeah, it was great.
Yeah, love a bit of kitchen nightmares.
Yeah, as do you.
Idiot sandwich. Talking of club sandwich. You know that iconic scene?
Yes.
He puts the 2 pieces of bread between her face and goes, "What are you?"
Well, I don't want to. No, I'm not even going to say that.
You're probably not allowed to make shows like that anymore, are you?
No.
Remember Hell's Kitchen back in the day, like the UK one as well? I loved that.
Oh, I love that. With Marco too.
Yeah,
but
Marco.
That's yes.
Yes.
Claudia Winkleman used to present that.
Hmm?
Claudia Winkleman.
We could have a new segment of the Club Sandwich where we can crown an idiot sandwich each week.
Let's keep as many friends as we can. Right, next up, dentistry drama. So you, I've heard about this all week. Henry's on fucking antibiotics. We get it.
Jordan has no sympathy. I would worry that by the time I have popped my clogs, you'll just be in the pub having a pint or something.
I said to Henry, because this is what, when growing up, this was the method people used. You tie some string around the tooth.
Around the what?
The tooth.
The tooth.
And you tie some string around it, then you tie the other end of the string to a door.
Yes, and
then
it.
you slam the door, and then out comes the tooth. Tooth.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
Oh,
I'm fine now, but
you went.
You have no sympathy for when I'm ill.
Well, no.
No, but it's because you never do get ill. Probably.
No, but I mean, if it's serious, Florence emerges.
Who?
Florence Nightingale.
Oh, right.
Like I'm not.
Dr. Sanger.
Yeah, I'm not Dr. Sanger. I'm not medically trained. I'm not like on the first front.
Are you feeling like when I sort of complain about my ailments that's a cry for you to help?
Well, I'm more like your brain surgeon. That's when I come in.
Oh, right.
So I'm not on the first
Line of defense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm there when it gets very serious. What?
I'm better now. I just haven't been able to drink all week.
Yeah.
But that's actually, Countess Luann's party was the last time I had a drink, and that was a way to go out, wasn't it?
But you found this new dentist, didn't you? And you said they're very lovely people.
Yes.
And that's surprising for London, because in London most people are bastards. But this dentistry, apparently they're all lovely.
They were lovely, but I was also a bit. I mean, if my dentist watched this, I don't think he looked like someone that's going to tune into Club Sandwich.
Good,
I don't know. You never know. He was like, "Oh, I have my deepest sympathies. I remember having dodgy wisdom teeth in my 20s as a young dental student." Yeah, bless him. Yeah, he was a really sweet guy.
I'm worried. I'm worried now about what I just said about London. Not most Londoners aren't bastards. I'm backtracking. I do love London. It's a lovely city. It's just you do get some right knobheads.
You've written here, Jordan learned how to use the coffee machine. Are you quite proud of that? Is that why you wanted to speak about it?
So apparently I don't do it right.
No, and you were like almost like confused how I knew you hadn't made a coffee right when.
But how did you know?
It just there was an air of mystery in the air, and I could just feel that something was slightly off balance. I was like, right, the coffee has not been made in the correct way here.
I don't know how you knew though. It was so because when you asked the question,
yes,
because Henry asked, "Did you perform this step?"
Yeah,
I said, "Yeah, of course," but then I knew I hadn't.
No. But you're quite peculiar because coffee has the opposite of effect of what it does.
Someone's going to bloody.
You say coffee calms you down.
Yeah, it almost zombifies me. It mellows me.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
How's that CBD drink doing?
I don't know. I think I'm feeling the effects now. It was in the corporate fridge, so all above board.
What's this? Our memorable celebrity death experiences. What
So,
the fuck does that
right,
mean?
so I don't think I've mentioned this on the podcast. I have mentioned it elsewhere, but I remember vividly where I was when Alan Rickman's death was announced.
A Chinese takeaway.
A Chinese takeaway.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. And then I just went back to school. I refused
That
to
must
do
have hit
any
hard
work.
because you got a lot of Alan Rickman energy.
I thought Alan Rickman, well, he still is. He's a bloody lovely person. What memorable death experiences have you got?
I don't know. I remember. I mean, this is like me loving
Yeah.
like from a young age. I've always just been brought up to, like, we've always loved like the royal family and stuff like that. When the Queen died, I was like genuinely like so upset. Like, it's just weird, isn't it?
I remember.
And then I remember I had a party to go to that night, and it was like a weird thing. And I was like, wait a second, this is so odd. We're now deliberating whether we should still go to this party because of this
Yes.
lady. Is right, but we all did in the end and got very drunk. It was quite fun.
Apparently, you're not supposed to drink champagne if someone dies.
Oh, really?
But when a royal dies, they play very melancholic music on like the BBC station.
Yes. Have you seen the moment that I think the Queen did die on? I think it was Radio 1 Extra or something. It had like this rave music going like doo, 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 doo. And then all of a sudden it just like merged into, and now a quick news bulletin.
Yeah. But I love all that melancholic music.
Oh, I know. Except for at your funeral, it's going to be a party.
Yeah, mine is going to be a rave. I'm having Radio 1 Extra at mine. But yeah, for me, Alan Rickman and the chap who played Owen in Vicar of Dibley. Oh, and Emma Chambers too.
gosh.
Who played Owen in Vicar of Dibley?
I don't know.
He was also in Only Fools and Horses.
I'm not sure.
I should know his name because I remember when he died.
Oh, I'm not sure. Sorry,
He
Doc.
was also in Harry Potter.
Really?
Goblet of Fire.
I still have no idea who you're talking
Okay.
about.
Moving on.
Right, club counselling. Let's go to let's go and see what submissions we have. Right, this is okay. We have a submission here. Hiya, Jordan and Henry.
Hello.
I saw this today and thought of you. Right, are you ready? I'm going to show it you first before we go ahead. You'll be able to see it on. You'll be able to see it on the screen. Darling, it's literally rubbish on the floor of a lift from what looks like. If I'm correct, that looks like some Greg's potato wedges and some Greg's fried chicken.
Right, okay.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Right, I'll read the rest. I saw this today and thought of you. It's worse than eating on the tube. As I was going in the lift to the gym, this pile of leftovers and smelly rubbish had been abandoned in the lift by a previous person. It absolutely stank the whole lift out. Do you think that it's acceptable to eat a hot Greg's in a lift and then throw all the rubbish and leftovers on the floor to assault the senses of everyone else? By the way, it's 6 long flights to the gym. I'm not that fit yet, so taking the stairs wasn't an option. I'd be very interested to know if this crime is more heinous than eating and leftovers on public transport. Love the pod. Keep up the great work. Love you both.
It's not necessarily the eating in the lift for me, it's the littering. Because I find littering disgusting. I mean, if I
I
smoked...
mean, eating in the lift, I mean, it's a short journey. Like, you don't need to, do you?
But if I smoked, I wouldn't even put the cigarette end on the floor.
Oh, yes.
Because we all have to play our part. Find a bloody bin.
Build a brighter future.
Although there aren't many bins in London. But there would have been a bin in the gym.
A bin in the gym.
Yes.
Well, I think the littering thing is a huge problem and one of the biggest problems for about eating on the tube. In fact, I think that's it's horrendous. On another note, my sort of experiences of people eating on the tube continues. I would always say that actually drinking is fine, but actually, I think water only, because this lady. And I want to speak directly to you if you're watching. We were in a very busy, packed carriage, like a really busy, packed carriage. She had this coffee cup or tea, I don't know what it was. And every time she drank from it, it literally dribbled all over the floor onto my shoes. And I was like, this is so unpleasant. This is already hell. We're literally hurtling across London on a metal box underground.
Which line was
with
it?
this Piccadilly line. No, Central line, I think.
Oh gosh.
And it was just absolutely foul. And every single time I was like, is there no self-awareness? Like, I find it so frustrating. Come on, let's all stick together.
I think the Central line was voted the most hated tube line.
Really?
Yeah, really. And I'm not surprised. But it reminds me of, do you know when we were waiting for a bus and that lady was vaping? And every time she took the vape out of her mouth, like a waterfall of
Oh God!
dribble would just...
Don't. I also talking of death and the tube. I always get really scared when I'm waiting on the train platform that someone's going to push me.
Yes, you mentioned this yesterday. Why did we mention that? What was that in relation to?
Oh, we saw people setting up on the wall,
Oh, yes.
and there was quite a big drop.
Yeah.
And like I constantly at the tube, and like I'm looking behind me all the time. And yeah, scary
Because
stuff.
you do get some peculiar characters on the
know.
tube. I mean, I take it daily. You see what I did?
See what you did there, darling. You and your sunglasses and your trench coat.
Oh, yeah.
On the
I'll be
tube.
taking my sunglasses off. Because if I take them off down there, I've only got to put them back on. But so what are we counselling? Yeah, it's... Why would they need to eat in a lift?
Yeah,
Doesn't make
don't
sense.
eat in the lift. It's not a very long.
Even that
it's not a very
restaurant's
long
not
trip.
that high
Yeah, we
up.
went to the highest restaurant in Europe, and that lift only took about 30 seconds.
Yeah, so don't be silly.
Yep. Right, let's eat some sandwiches, shall we? Before we get to it, this week's sandwich is our death row sandwich. So this is the last sandwich we'd want to eat before we popped our
Yes,
clogs.
but the death row meal.
Yeah, talking of a meal,
What would be your death row meal?
I've always said mine would probably be like a lobster thermidor with fries,
Yeah.
glass of Krug champagne. Maybe just because of the lols, I'd have a bottle from the year I was born, 1998, sort of Krug. Yeah, I think I'd be happy to see that. Or, sorry to plug the podcast, I always think of a club sandwich. It's just like so.
Would you want to be reminded of the podcast just before we die? It's like work, isn't it? Mine would be fish and chips,
Yes.
battered sausage, curry sauce, peas, scraps.
You can't take the boy out the north. You can take the boy out north. You can't take the north out the boy.
Well, you can't take the fish and chips away from him. Well, actually, you can, because I can't get any decent ones in London. And then 2 slices of bread. Maybe not even alcohol. Actually, yeah, I'll have some alcohol. Maybe just some whiskey.
I like to drink no whiskey. I would like to now.
And then I want Mozart's Requiem playing whilst I eat.
Yeah.
No, actually, I want do you know on Club Penguin, the pizza parlor theme? I want that whilst I'm eating.
Club Penguin was where it was at.
Yeah, well, not anymore. I want that whilst I'm eating, and then when I'm drinking the whiskey, I want Mozart's Requiem.
What colour was your puffle?
My puffle.
Are they called puffles?
Yeah, the little puffle thing.
Puffle.
I don't know. I can't remember what colour my penguin was either.
Aww.
Shall we?
Yes, let's see what sandwiches we've got this week. Here we are. 3, 2, 1.
Ta-da. Oh, it's a Harrods number. Oh, Henry.
What? What do you mean, oh, Henry?
I know it's your death row sandwich.
Exactly. Look at this.
Truffle.
Huh? No, so let's explain. Can you just open it up a second?
Henry's got me a truffle sandwich.
No, it's not truffles. That's not the main ingredient. And there's reason behind this. Can I just explain what I've got you, Jordan? I chose this because I thought I would want as my last sandwich something quite nostalgic. I remember having lots of egg mayonnaise sandwiches when I was younger. But this is a more decadent take on it. This is on a brioche roll with a bit of truffle.
Those eggs do look gorgeously orange, don't they?
They do. They must be Burford Browns.
It's a truffle for me.
Well, it's only that bit it's only the black stuff on the top.
Right, do you want to open yours? It's not that one where it's got the bread and everything. That is a double-decker zinger. Doesn't that look... That will kill you off.
Why is that so fluorescent?
God, I want a bite of that. Right, here's to the ASMR section.
Just so you know what I'm looking at, if you're just listening, it's essentially...
Oh, yeah, sorry.
A burger bun with 2 massive chicken fillets from KFC.
I am looking at this
That's a piece of art over there.
this monstrously long brioche situation, topped with egg, and then topped with more egg, and there is truffle. So now I'm going to shove it into my mouth for the listeners.
Oh, how do you even eat this?
Also, could I tell you a secret? Because it's a deaf special, I laced it with cyanide.
I'll try some.
It's just, yeah, it's an egg sandwich.
How much was this again? How much was yours?
Mine was,
This would be quite
I
interesting.
think mine was like £7,
I think this was also that much.
or maybe £6. Look at this. This is a daddy. Sorry.
It's a what? A daddy? That's a good egg mayo.
Darling, this is good.
You'll be quite content with your life before you're about to
Yeah.
go to the next realm.
You've got double chicken, double cheese.
Do you think any of these are making the breadboard? We haven't added any. We started off really strong with our sandwiches.
May I have some tissue, please?
I don't know. What do you think? Gosh, you're really enjoying that, aren't you? You hungry, darling?
It's really nice. No, I don't think any of these have made the
Sadly,
bread.
not. These have not made it. I mean, I do love that, but yeah,
And I suppose because it was our own death row sandwich.
exactly. You look like you're ready to go after that.
I am. I'm ready to pop my clogs, darling.
Should we wrap up then? Right. Thank you for listening to this week's rather morbid episode of Club Sandwich with me, Henry Southern.
Me, Jordan Sanger.
Jordan, can you just stop eating? Or
No, I love the crunchy bits.
Bloody hell. Subscribe and follow so you're the first to know of each and every new episode that comes out.
And if you haven't already, rate us 5-star, leave a glowing review. If you want this podcast to stay alive, do your thing.
Follow us on all socials at Club Sandwich Pod and email us at clubsandwichinsanity.com
Spammers.
with any of your club counselling submissions.
Next week, we're tarting ourselves up and talking all things luxury.
Are we?
No. We're talking all things
Wait, start
fashion.
again. Just start that again.
Next week, we're tarting ourselves up and talking all things fashion.
We are.
Spring, summer.
It's been Fashion
Autumn,
Week,
winter.
so we're feeling
Anna Wintour,
inspired.
Grace Connington.
Yes.
Vogue, darling.
It's very exciting.
It's going to be absolutely fabulous.
See you next time.
Cheers.